Hi everyone, my name is Virginia Marquez and I will be presenting today my mini post, Creation of an Assignment. The central question that I have today is, where do your rights end? "17 years has passed since the United States adopted the International Bill of Human Rights in 1948. But a couple of questions come to my mind when I think about the International Bill of Human Rights. What do human rights mean to you? What is the International Bill of Human Rights? What is included in the Bill of Human Rights? Before we move on and answer those questions, let's go watch this video and we'll hear a couple of people talking about what human rights and what they believe they represent. Once of those questions, we're going to open our Jamboard. And the first question is, if you had to describe human rights, how would you do it? What that means to you? I'll give you a few minutes that you can answer that question. Then we can move on to our lesson. Human rights belong to everyone, regardless, regardless sex, gender, ethnicity, race, religious, cultural background, sexual orientation, skin color, nationality, or social status. And these slides have a little collage or a visual representation. You will be looking at several images from this collage that represent society today and the fight for human rights. Now, observe each image and write down the impressions that you get from each image. After completing the collage, answer the following questions using the Human Rights Jamboard activity. You can click on the link and it will open the sweat page for you. And this is what you'll be seeing. So in our first image, we got a woman lonely, apart away from everyone. A woman by herself, sitting on the ground with nobody paying attention to her. A protecting our tree. A child holding his signs, just saying, I am not a virus. A girl reclining in the locker of her classroom because nobody talked to her. A child feels lonely just because of the way that he looks like. People at work being rejected. Kids in a war that they not belong to. So thinking about it, does this image represent our society? Do the rights are being respected for all humans? And you can go back to a Jamboard and answer the question. Principles of natural rights, human rights. We have a couple of pictures or images that they go back, way back in history. The first one is the Code of Hammurabi, ancient West Asia, which called for punishment for those who broke or violated the rules in several matters, such as men's and women's rights, children's and slaves. The second image is the Book of Chronicles, found in on the Old Testament. The third one is the Constitution of Midian or Shadows of Medina. The fourth one is the Magna Carta, wrote in 1215, Middle Age, and it was called the Natural Law. The fifth one is the early modern period, United States Declaration of Independence in 1776. The next image is the Declaration of the Rights of Men and the Citizen, French, 1789, in the 19th century to World War I, followed by an agreement between hostile parties after World War I ended. The one that we know or we are familiar with the name, the Geneva Convention, 1864, after World War II. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1949, Eleanor Roosevelt. The United Kingdom Human Rights Act, just a few years ago, in 1998. But why does discrimination still exist? We talk a lot about human rights. We hear on the news, watch on the TV, we see violations of human rights at work, in the streets, at schools, and more. But somehow, when we ask somebody what is human rights, the answer seems to be absent. Human rights is the right to live, the right to freedom without fear of oppression. It is the right to an education, the right to vote, the right of just being human. But somehow, people struggle when you ask that question. Why? Maybe because even though the Human Rights Act passed in the United States over 17 years ago, some people still struggle with that concept. People are still being discriminated daily, discriminated based on their race, nationality, origins, religions, skin color, language they speak, gender orientation, or gender in general. So, when we talk about human rights, it's a lot to think about. Now, let's start by watching this video that was posted in UNESCO, a retrieval for the page, and analyze what is the message, what is human rights. Speak up, take action. Read, observe, learn, and listen. Powerful, powerful message. After the powerful video, now we'll review or see my view, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by Eleanor. Eleanor was somebody who believed that all humans should be treated with dignity. United States adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. It was the first approach to develop a universal standard of human rights, where all humans should be respected equally. We all know that we have rights, but what they are. Do you respect the right of others? Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady of the United States, from 1933-1945, was an activist and a pacifist, a diplomat who believed in the rights of others. She believed that all people should be free and live with respect and dignity. A little bit of history about Eleanor Roosevelt and her fight for human rights. In the first image, we can see Rosenberg or Eleanor Rosenberg flying with Tuskegee Airman Charles Chief Anderson in March 1941. She was the point of contact between Americans and African communities. She was appointed or assigned as the representative of the United Nations General Assembly by the President Harry Truman. Then she becomes the first director of the preparatory United Nations Commission on Human Rights and continued director of Chairwomen after the commission was established permanent in January 1947. Eleanor called the Bill of Human Rights the Magna Carta. She called it like that for referring to all equal rights to all men around the world. In 1968, the United Nations, after she was already dead, awarded her one of the most valuable prizes, the Human Rights Prize. With this, I conclude this presentation of this lesson for today, the first lesson of our 4 units. And I leave this as an exit ticket or a reflection ticket. Reflect on what you learned today. Look at the following quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, Chairwoman of the United Nations, Commission of Human Rights, and answer the following question. What does concerned citizen action 2 or 4 then close to home mean? To complete the activity, you can go to your Google Classroom. You'll find the activities under the assignments. Or you can click in this link in this presentation until you open you to the Google document. In the Google document, you can find the 4 entitled quotes of Eleanor Roosevelt, which says the following. Where, after all, the universal human rights begin in small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world. Yet, they are the work of the individual person, the neighborhood he lives in, the school or college he attends, the factory, farms, or office where he works. Such are the places where every man, woman, and child seek equal justice, equal opportunity, equal dignity, without discrimination. Unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anywhere, without concerning citizens' actions to afford them close to home. We should look in vain for progress in the larger world. Eleanor Rosenberg, 1968. So the next step is for you to answer that two questions. Reflect on them. What can you do to protect citizens? How do you practice our responsibility for the rights of others and ourselves? And this is my last and very slide. And this is a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, October 2nd, 1869, January 30, 1948. Another hero on fire for human rights. The quote says, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you.